What is up, everyone? Welcome to the video. Wolfie here, and today we're going to be talking about 10 tips that are going to help you survive more in Arc Raiders. Now, before we get into these tips, if you could kindly like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, that would absolutely help me with this brand new channel for Arc Raiders. And of course, if you want to see more content on the way. Now, I do have 2 out of these 10 tips being must-dos, and of course, that is my opinion, but in tip number 1, or with tip number 1, my first must-do tip is take 2 guns. I can't stress how much you will thrive if you take 2 guns. The fact that you know that you have a long range weapon like a Pharaoh and then a Stitcher to back you up in close quarter combat, it feels really nice. Also, a lot of the time, if you do hit that long range shot on someone where you know they're absolutely cracked and they have no shield left and you want to push them, you don't want to be pushing them with the single shotgun. You really want to Pharaoh someone, switch to your Stitcher, your full auto, your kettle gun, and then lay bullets into them and finish them off. If you only have a Pharaoh and then you hit someone and push them only with a Pharaoh, if you miss that next shot, you're dead. So even if you have like a Pharaoh and a Rattler, a Pharaoh, a Stitch, Pharaoh kettle, anything that has a bit more bullet speed is going to help you. So tip number 1, take 2 guns and don't worry about it, because free loadouts are a thing in Arc Raiders, so you can always replenish your guns that you've lost in raids if you do. Tip number 2, which is my final must-do tip, is check the time when you enter the raid. Every time you get into a raid, you look at the top of your screen and you will see the time. This is going to help you immensely, and if you don't do this, it is going to catch you out. Now, going into tip number 3, and it will link from tip number 2, is the reason why you want to check the time of the raid is the way that Arc Raiders works is essentially you can continuously, or have people continuously spawning in. So not like other extraction shooters like Escape from Tarkov and Arena Breakout, when everyone comes in, they spawn in. Arc Raiders works a bit differently. So what can happen is the raid starts at approximately 30 minutes. If you come into the raid at the start of the raid, lucky you, but sometimes you'll come in at 25 minutes, 23 minutes, 27 minutes, and this tells you that you are already coming into a match with players in buildings, likely could possibly be around you near extractions and already extracting, so everything becomes way more intense and actually harder. So tip number 3 is going to high tier loot locations when you've entered a raid late isn't a great idea once you've realized your time and you looked at your raid time at the top of your screen. You want to identify what the time is, and based off that, that will allow you to understand where you should be looting and how you should be looting. There's no point going to a red tier loot location or a high valuable location if you've just spawned in with 24, 23 minutes to go, and you're likely walking into people already in the building, so they're going to have the sound on you. The loot will likely already be taken, that's most of it, and you're running into a dangerous area for no reason. So make sure you look at the time, because that is going to allow you to go to better loot locations where you're going to loot a bit more safer. Tip number 4, having more ammo, meds, and shield charges is way better than having less. And I know that's a pretty obvious statement, but this is going to lead to a sort of tip 4 tip combination. The reason why it's better to have 5 shield charges than having 2 is because you should actually be splitting up your shield charges and putting the remainder into your safe pocket. So you might have thought when I said this tip, well, why would I take 5 shield charges in if I only have 5? I could lose them all in one raid, and then I'm already behind and going to be, likely dead in my fights. Well, you can split your shield charges. You can put 2 in your quick kit in your inventory, and then you can put 3 in your safe pocket. If you don't know what a safe pocket is, basically if you die in the raid, you will still retain what is in your safe pocket when you go back to the menu and then come back in with those 3. So it is very, very smart and ideal to take more shield charges or more bandages. Predominantly, you do want to have your shield charges in your safe pocket, and it's going to help you immensely because you know you have 5, but you know like 3 or 4 or 2 are at least safe in case you die. Tip number 5, if you get a kill or see a kill close to you, understand that Arc Raiders has what's called the red flare syndrome, and that's a little term I've made up, but I found a lot that when someone dies, what do? we see this red flare in the air, and the first thing we think to ourselves is, can I make it there quick enough to third party or to kill someone while they're looting? And this is basically everyone in the game. I've just basically killed someone. What I do is I heal up and then I look around first. And I can't tell you how many times I've decided to look around and not loot and just seen someone rush to the red flare. Tip number 6 off that, however, is that if you do get a kill, the first thing you want to do is heal first, then shield. I can't stress this enough. Arc Raiders has a system where when you take shots, it actually depletes your health and your shield at the same time. So if you have the incy-wincyest a tiny bit of health, but you then recharge your shield to 100%, if you get shot by someone, it's going to matter zilch. Nothing's going to matter. You're going to die because it's going to take off that bit of health. That shield charge that you've just invested in is going to be lost. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start bandaging, then you want to shield charge, and you want to get your health up as quickly as possible. Tip number 7, understand that when you're playing solo, you don't have to get into a fight every raid to be successful with that raid. I know this has a PvP element. I know you want to fight people, but sometimes a raid just pans out where you loot, you find really good gear, your backpack's 70 to 80 to 90% full, and then you see a red flare 100 to 150 meters away and you go, can I actually run for that? Maybe get someone's gun and extract out. Always think as a solo player, what's the smartest and safest decision, and you will survive more. Don't get into the red flare syndrome, and understand that, hey, I've completed a quest, my backpack's looking good, let's just reset. And I feel like a lot of people don't reset enough in looter shooter games. You know that with this game, because of the hype around it, your queues are going to be basically instant, so you're going to get back in really quickly, and you do have a feature that unloads your backpack with things you've just found rather than the things that you came in with, so everything's going to be smooth and quick for you. Tip number 8, this is going to help in scenarios when you're in a PvP fight, even fighting against PvE, against the Ark and the robots and everything that's flying and trying to kill you. Cancel your slide while rolling in any direction. Cancel your slide with rolling in any direction. So some of you may know this and some of you may not, but when you slide, it can be a really long animation, and it's actually quite annoying. Essentially, what you can do here is Alt, for me as a mouse and keyboard player, it cancels that. So when I get to the end of the slide and it feels like I'm going really slow and it's just like, hey, I'm a sitting target, you can then roll in any direction and that will cancel your slide for you, and then Bob's your uncle. This is also a great thing to do when you're pushing an enemy on a corner. You can slide then roll, and they really do get confused, and then hopefully you finish the kill. But yeah, cancel your slide with rolling in any direction. Don't let that full slide animation happen because it is really slow towards the end. Tip number 9, Arc Raiders gives you 2 options for extraction, so use them. There's this thing, just like in Escape from Tarkov, where you can have keys to certain extractions. In Arc Raiders, you have Raider hatch keys. This is basically like a little mini tunnel that you enter in from the top, almost like the size of a well, and you would obviously know, if you have played Arc Raiders, that there are some extracts that get camped, and that's just a part of extraction shooter looters or looter shooters. So Raider hatch keys are about $9,500, but boy do they come handy for that one raid where you've got the ultimate gear, the ultimate loot, and you're too scared to go to an extraction. As a solo player, this is only going to be beneficial for you as well. So look at Raider hatch keys, always use them. Not every single raid you're going to be able to use them, or else you're going to have no money, but use them wisely, use them at the right time, and it will help you survive more. Last but not least, tip number 10 is don't have gear fear in this game. Whether it's new or not, it will burn you. With my first tip of taking 2 guns, some of you will most probably go, oh, I don't want to take 2 guns. Like if I die, I'm going to lose 2 guns. But in hindsight, if you did have that second gun, maybe there's a lot of the times you will say, I actually would have won that fight if I had an auto gun when they pushed up on me or I pushed the corner. Arc Raiders also gives you free loadouts with no wait time, which is huge. So in other games, you can go in as a scav or covert ops in Arena Breakout Infinite, where you do have wait times to be a scav in EFT. I think it's 20 minutes or 15 minutes. In Arc Raiders, you can just keep re-queuing as with a free loadout, and that is going to help you immensely. So don't be afraid to take in the big gear when you get it, because that will lead you to getting more gear, that will lead you to becoming a better player, and that will lead you to having more fun, most probably. So yeah, the better gear you have, the more chance for you to survive. That is my 10 tips for solo players in Arc Raiders, just to help you survive a bit more. Maybe some things you didn't know, maybe you knew everything and you're just elite. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Wolfie.